Welcome to a new episode. Today we will reflect on the theories that shape real classroom practice. We are Brenda and Romina, soon to be teachers, deeply fascinated by how language connects thought and identity.
Today, we're discussing something that often sparks debate in bilingual education: the role of the first language in learning a second language. Should we rely on L1 in the classroom or should we avoid it completely? After years of training and real classroom experience, we've formed some opinions, grounded in theories and observations. I think this topic we've all struggled with during training and our classroom practice. You know, that moment when you wonder, should I use Spanish to explain this or should I stick to English?
Exactly. It's that eternal dilemma. I used to believe that using L1 meant students were cheating, or that I wasn't giving them enough exposure to English. But after observing real classrooms and teaching myself, I completely changed my mind. But why L1 matters?
Same here. I've realized that a first language is much more than just a tool for translation. It's the foundation of how students make sense of the world. When we deny them that bridge, we're actually making learning harder.
Right, it's how students build meaning. The first time I noticed that was when one of my fifth graders said, Miss Cloudy is like nublado, right? It clicked for me. That comparison was his way of linking new knowledge to something he already understood. It's not interference. That's cognitive scaffolding.
Exactly. And that's what good learning is all about: connecting what's new to what's known. I think some teachers fear that L1 use might slow down L2 acquisition, but from what I've seen, um, it often accelerates it, especially at lower levels.
I totally agree. When students feel lost, a brief explanation in their L1 can actually lower their anxiety and help them stay engaged. The key is to use it intentionally, not as a constant fallback, but as a bridge towards independence in L2.
When I think about it, language isn't just words, it's a way of thinking, and the brain doesn't reset every time we switch languages. Our L1 knowledge doesn't disappear, it becomes the framework through which we process L2.
Yes, and I find that so interesting. For instance, bilingual students often use their L1 to organize ideas before expressing them in English. That's not a weakness, it's a strategy. It's like thinking with both sides of the brain at once.
E- Exactly. During my practicum, I saw that when I allowed the students to discuss tasks briefly in Spanish before doing them in English, their L2 production improved. Not just in quantity, but in quality. They felt more confident and creative.
That's such an important observation. I think we sometimes forget that emotional safety plays a huge role in language learning. When learners can rely on their L1 to clarify meaning or express an idea, they feel more secure. And that emotional comfort actually supports risk taking in L2.
So the big question is how much L1 is too much? Personally, I think it depends on the stage and the group. With beginners, a little L1 um, goes a long way. It builds understanding and saves time. But as students advance, we can gradually cut it down.
I agree. A like to think of L1 as training wheels, essential at first, but meant to come off once the learners gain balance. Their goal is always for students to think in L2, but that process doesn't happen overnight.
Exactly. And using L1 doesn't mean translating everything word for word. It can mean comparing grammar patterns, explaining a cultural difference, or even reflecting on why a phrase feels different in English from Spanish.
Yes, that kind of metalinguistic awareness, noticing how languages work, actually strengthens overall linguistic competence. It makes learners more conscious, flexible thinkers, and what we have learned as for future teachers about all these issues to go beyond and furthermore simple discussion.
You know, after 4 years of studying, observing, and teaching, I've realized that teaching English isn't about erasing a student's first language. It's about expanding it.
Exactly. L1 isn't the enemy of L2, it's its ally. When we respect build upon our students' linguistic backgrounds, we're not just teaching a language, we're empowering their whole identity as learners.
And that's what makes bilingual education so beautiful, right? It's not just about words, it's about giving students more ways to understand, to feel, and to express themselves.
Yes, two languages, but one mind. Richer, more flexible, more aware. So, to all the future teachers listening, don't be afraid to use your students' L1 strategically. Use it to build bridges, not barriers.
Exactly, because learning a new language isn't about leaving the first one behind. It's about standing on its shoulders and to reach farther.
Thanks for joining us today. And please comment below if you liked this subject. Tell us what you think about it.
Keep questioning, keep reflecting, and keep teaching from understanding, not from fear. See you
See
next
you next
time.
time.
Bye bye. Bye.